I read about these remarks made by Shri Shashi Tharoor, and if that's accurate, then I condemn it. This is very disappointing. It's a basic tenet of politics and a basic tenet of diplomacy that no matter what differences you have in your country, you do not go outside your country and criticize it. This is followed by most leaders of democratic nations and in India also. But in recent times, the Congress party seems to have broken all these conventions and norms because of its desperation. It's not getting support from the people of India in elections. This is the way it is throwing mud. It's deep anger or resentment against Modi ji and the BJP government should not be taken to the extent where it harms India. And I completely, vehemently deny these allegations that you are reporting. India is a constitutional democracy where every citizen, irrespective of religion, irrespective of gender or caste or creed, is given the same rights. And if you look at the allegations he makes about minorities, if you look at the allegations he makes about people in the Northeast, it is not borne out by facts. So I'm very disappointed that somebody in public life in India should be going, and that too to a country like Pakistan, which is known for its human rights violations, which is known for its harboring of terrorists, particularly targeting India. It just defies common sense. I don't think the people of India will tolerate this when they hear about it. Let's be very clear. India doesn't want war with anybody. But also let's be clear that this is not 1962. This is a very different India. This is a very confident India and capable of taking care of our interest, and certainly we are not going to compromise even 1 inch of our land. And this has to be made clear to the world. The world sees what is happening on our borders, the behavior of China. It is concerning countries all around the world, not just its behavior with us, but behavior with other nations. The reason it needs to be made clear is that people should not be under the misunderstanding that India is somehow the same India of 1962 or even the same India where 20 years ago it gave away large tracts of our land because of inability to stand up, because of inability to back our armed forces. That has changed. If you see under the Modi government, the kind of backing that the armed forces has got, the kind of long delayed armaments replenishment, including in the Air Force, that have finally taken place. The armed forces themselves, the Jawans themselves who are making sacrifices, are asserting that they will take care of India. They are not backing down to anybody. And yet, you have the Congress party particularly going around trying to demoralize our forces. They constantly question what our forces say. They constantly say things that are exactly in line with what China says, what Pakistan says. So it is necessary for the Indian government and leaders of the Narendra Modi government, such as Home Minister Amit Shah ji, to point out that what Congress is trying to represent India is not true. That was the India of 1962. This is a different India. First of all, Article 370 was the only article in India's constitution which had the word temporary before it. Every major Indian leader over the decades had said that it must go. Modi ji showed the determination and the political will to bring it about in Parliament, and you can see that it has taken out many discriminatory laws. If Farooq Abdullah ji wants to bring back Article 370, then what it means is that he wants to bring back discrimination against Dalits, which was prevalent in Jammu and Kashmir before the abrogation of 370. It means that he wants to bring back discrimination against women. It means he wants to bring back discrimination against the LGBTQ community, which the Supreme Court of India has overruled, but under Article 370, it was permitted in Jammu and Kashmir. That's not acceptable in India. And let me say that, this comment, if it is true, that any leader in Jammu and Kashmir asks China to intervene and ensure the return of Article 370 is just is horrendous. It simply cannot be tolerated. And this is exactly precisely the Pakistani line. So there is no question of that being permitted.